veteran Lucas Kunce easily won last night's Missouri Democratic Senate primary, beating his nearest opponent for the nomination by nearly 45 points. He will now take on incumbent Senator Republican Josh Hawley, who congratulated Kunce on his win and immediately challenged him to a debate next week. And Lucas Kunce joins us now, the Democratic nominee for Senate in Missouri. Congratulations for being on the show this morning and for winning the primary. So will you debate Josh Hawley?
Well, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here. You know, Josh Hawley wants to debate at the Sedalia State Fair next week on a Thursday morning, and we agreed to it. But, you know, the funny thing is that he doesn't want any moderators there. He didn't want news cameras, any of that sort of stuff. So, you know, we got a news station that wants to host it now and moderate, and we're going to be there. And the question for us is he still the coward of January 6th, or is he going to show up and do this thing and answer the hard questions?
Oh, tell me, well, first of all, so you're game to debate. You're ready to go.
Oh, yeah, we've signed up for 4 right now. And in fact, we agreed to do one on Fox News in his home turf. But again, the guy doesn't want to answer questions like why he stole $250,000 from Missouri taxpayers by violating ethics laws. He doesn't want to answer questions about why he refuses to protect IVF and contraception. He doesn't want to answer questions about why he thinks no-fault divorces should no longer be available and people would be stuck in dangerous marriages. But, you know, we want every Missourian to be able to see the contrast between me and him. So we've signed up, and we're going to keep signing up, and, you know, we'll see if he shows or not.
Out on the campaign trail, what do you hear about January 6th? Because there's a lot of disinformation about it, or actually true, that Donald Trump wants to pardon these people. You call Josh Hawley the coward of January 6th. What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, this is what happens. Yeah, this is what happens when you got control freak, you know, power-hungry politicians who only care about power for himself. And kind of the real fallout for him on January 6th is that when he thinks it's going to get himself some power, he's out there raising his fist, shaking up a crowd. And then the second things get real, he's skittering out the back door and running away, right? And I tell you what, like, as a Marine for 13 years who deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan, that type of cowardice would have gotten us court-martialed. And so, you know, I think we're seeing with his unwillingness to answer questions the exact same guy who ran away from the crowd he incited on January 6th. And it's just, you know, Missourians want to be proud of their U.S. senator, and this guy's an embarrassment.
Lucas, good morning. Obviously, Missouri has been a Republican state the last handful of cycles, but the presidential race just changed. Vice President Harris now atop the Democratic ticket, no longer President Biden. How has that changed things in your state, on the ground there in Missouri? How has that impacted Democrats you talk to, but also potentially swing independent voters, even some Republicans you'd need to win to capture the Senate seat?
You know, there's a huge amount of energy right now, and a couple other things we have going on here in Missouri is A, my campaign, and B, we have an abortion petition on the ballot, a constitutional amendment to enshrine the right to abortion and pretty much codify Roe versus Wade this fall. And so people are super excited to protect their rights and take power from these, you know, power control freak politicians back. And so, you know, one of the big things that's really exciting for me on my campaign is I'm a kid who grew up in mid-Missouri, you know, in a working class neighborhood. My parents had 4 kids. My littlest sister was born with a heart condition. And you know what happens to working class families when medical disasters strike. Like, my parents went bankrupt. It was a really hard time. And the reason we made it isn't because country club politicians like Josh Hawley were there for us. It's because the people in that neighborhood who had no more money than we did passed the plate down at church for us, brought food by the house, and really took care of us. I spent my life as a U.S. Marine trying to pay everybody back. This run is the next step in this service, and people are hungry for someone who is ready to serve others, not just themselves. We see that energy in crowds all around the state, not just in Kansas City and St. Louis, but in Dexter, in St. Joe, in Palmyra. It's out there. You know, people are saying it's the biggest crowd they've seen for Democrats in some of these areas since 1976. We are going to win this race and take power back for everyday people from guys like Josh Hawley who only care about themselves.
So, Lucas, we have Jackie Alemany from the Washington Post. She has the next question. Jackie?
Lucas, congrats on a big night. As you noted, you're a 13-year Marine veteran deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. You were stationed next to a burn pit. I think you're pretty well equipped to weigh in on this debate that we're seeing play out at the presidential. What do you make on J.D. Vance and Donald Trump's attacks on Tim Walz's military career?
Well, I haven't been paying a lot of attention to that, but I tell you what, these guys, all they do is attack veterans. They don't care about us. They don't understand. And one of the things that we see here in Missouri that's going to be huge for us in winning this campaign is that Missouri right now doesn't have a single member of Congress who's a veteran. And it shows. It shows from attacks that they do on veterans. Josh Hawley played politics, installed the PACT Act, which was to protect all of us who were exposed to burn pits in Iraq and Afghanistan. And it's just these guys don't get it. They don't care about us. And, one of the things that we talk about on the campaign trail is, next fall, don't just thank a veteran for their service, right? Actually do something about it. Put a veteran in Congress from Missouri so that we can all take care of each other. And, these guys can do all the attacks they want, but Missourians are good people. They're veteran-loving people. Veterans are who helped take care of me as a kid, and it's going to be a great thing for us to talk about all the way down.
Democratic nominee for Senate in Missouri, Lucas Kunce, thank you very much for being on the show this morning.